Hello, everyone. Welcome back to the Boring Show, Flutter Boring Show with me, Filip, and...
And hi, I'm Fitz. This is my first Boring Show, and I'm super happy to be here.
Yes, we're happy to have you.
Thank you.
And today we'll go back to our famous and very old now app called the Hacker News app, and we'll be talking about page transitions.
Ooh, excellent. Yeah. I'm excited.
Exactly. You are excited because you actually studied for this a little bit at least. Right?
A little bit.
Yeah.
I know the words at least.
Yes. So Fitz knows a lot more about this thing than I do, and so anything goes wrong, that's his thing.
I'll take full responsibility for our bad transitions.
But we don't want to kind of make this weird for people who haven't seen any of the previous episodes. So just to give you a little bit of context, what we're building here, it's a reader for Hacker News, basically. So it just shows you stories. You can see how many comments there are, which probably doesn't work yet. We have two modes to look at, the top stories and the news stories. And then we also have a drawer with favorites and settings. And you can also do this down here. And you can favorite, of course.
Oh,
yes. And this is our kind of toy app that we've been working on for, as I say, ages. And it has some issues right now, which we might address, or we might actually kind of ignore them, right?
Okay.
Do you want to see the issues? They're kind of hilarious.
Let's see what we're gonna run into when we try to do these page transitions.
So, for example, we have a favorites page, right? And this was me and John who were working on this because we were talking about Navigator and stuff like this. You can click on this, and it uses a Navigator that's inside here, so that it's not on top of the drawer, but it's inside there. And it will show you the favorites, which are not implemented yet. So
I can't favorite anything.
Yeah, you can't favorite anything. And you can't go back at all because this just doesn't work now. You get like errors, and so fun stuff. Then we have settings, and I think this is the episode just before us. Yeah, you can use dark mode, but check this out. You do dark mode. That is the same, except
for
this.
Much dark mode.
Yes, and
the back button.
Yeah, exactly. The back button is like, you're in dark mode now, and then you go back and.
That's certainly dark.
Yes, it is very dark. It's dark. It's so dark that you can't see the text. So that's just fun. But we don't care about any of this because we don't have any actual users.
I mean, it's a beautiful app already.
Yeah. Yes. So what we're gonna do instead is we're still in that weird thing. Are we? Oh yeah, we're still in dark mode. Okay.
Wow. Oh, weird. So is that?
It's saved, I guess. It's saved in some kind of local.
Like shared preferences or something.
All right.
Oh, okay.
That's pretty cool. Anyway, so let's get out of all of this, and as you could see, maybe some of you did, is you can go to settings here, right? And the settings itself is not, the greatest thing.
There's a lot of control over this app.
Yes, but what we care about now is the transition. What is a transition?
Yeah, so our transition is by default, it's normally handled by the theming system that we're using. So like Material or Cupertino just handles them and makes them appear native as much as possible. So we get that nice slide from the left or slide from the right when we go forward, backwards.
But just to step back, what is a transition?
Oh, okay. We'll go even further back. Okay. So a transition is when you go from one thing to another.
Yep.
Yeah, I know. It's very deep. And so when we're looking at from the app standpoint, when we have multiple pages and we want to say we're on one, and you click on something like the favorites or the settings, and you're changing your routes, you're changing what you have on top of the stack of things that you're looking at. And so when you click on something, you transition to a new page, and the others are put away for the moment.
Right. So in our case, we have some complexity with the like inner navigator, but let's just not talk about that. But we do have two routes. One of them is the homepage route, which is where you get, and then there's the settings route, which we saw just now. And so the way Flutter works is that you basically from somewhere around here, I don't know where is it, in the my main homepage, yeah, we have navigator push, and it says actually not this one. I want to do settings, right? Yes. So there we have a list style, yes. And then there's on tab, and a navigator is pushing the settings route.
Right. So this is in the drawer, right?
Yes.
So what you have showing there.
Yes. Yep. Yes. Exactly. And so, this kind of is being done by Material app. It could be done by Cupertino app or Widgets app. But anyways, it's just like you set up some routes at the beginning, and then you can say, like go to this page, pop the route, which means basically go back to like through the stack to the previous thing that you were in, and stuff like this. So we have that.
Yes, and so as Filip was showing earlier, we have the navigator.push named thing. By default, that's using in Material app, that's using a Material PageRouteBuilder, right?
Yes.
So that's the thing that handles the transitions that you're used to seeing on a Material app.
So it's like it works as if by magic. Like you just like push this route to the navigator, and suddenly there's this animation that is almost like coming out of nowhere that you would expect by like on a Material app, but you don't know where it is. So how do we get to changing that?
Yeah, so we have to make our own.
Okay.
Yeah.
Where do we put it?
Well, so it's going to become part of that navigator.push thing.
I thought, is there on Material app, is there something where we can just say, hey, all things should be, all the changes on generate route, maybe?
So there's
maybe not. I don't know. Unknown route, navigator. I'm just reading through the things here, but since we don't know, apparently.
No, that's a good question. I don't.
I think it might be on generate route, but I don't. On the other hand, I'm not so sure, so that we should spend too much time. There's a route factory.
Oh.
With route set. Oh no. I don't think that's what we want, because. Let's just do it. Let's just do it with the settings. For now, and then we can try to generalize it.
Okay.
Cool. Okay.
Yeah.
So back to here. No. Back to actually here. Settings. Push named. How do we ask it to do something more interesting than just the default?
Yeah. So this is interesting. That's something I might have to look at the documentation for. Like I said, I know the words, but I don't necessarily know the code. Navigator.push normally takes the page that you're trying to go to.
So this is just...
and so push named is going to be different.
But we can do that. This is just a quick thing. So we can definitely do push and then... route. Okay, now I understand. Okay. So instead of navigator.push named, which takes a context, we first get the actual navigator and say, navigator.off context, and then push, and push takes a route.
Yes.
So what's a route?
Well, that's going to be the new page that we're trying to create.
Okay.
Right?
Okay.
And so if we were just doing the settings, it would be what is our settings page name? Settings page. Great. That's easy enough.
So we can just do
you
this?
can just do settings page, and that should type because it's a widget, not a route, right?
So do I do like route just that?
There is a
that's an abstract class.
way to do a page route is to wrap. You can wrap your widget in a page route, but let me figure out how to do that real quick.
All right.
PageRouteBuilder.
Does it?
So this is what. So PageRouteBuilder is going to be. That's what we're going to end up using to get our custom transition animations between the two pages.
Oh, really? It is a page route, which is a modal route, which is a transition route, which is an overlay route, which is a route.
Oh, cool.
Okay, so
all right. So let's start here. Let's back up because the PageRouteBuilder is where we want to end up for the custom ones, right? But if we want to just see the normal one, we can use a material PageRouteBuilder. Material PageRoute, which takes a builder as its main argument.
So builder is context.
It takes a context and then returns
the settings row.
It'll be the settings page. Yeah.
Settings page.
Yeah.
That's it?
Yeah. So this, as we have it here, should have no difference to what we were just saying.
All right.
Yeah. So it's kind of our proof of concept on creating our own route, right?
Yeah, I'm happy.
Excellent.
Cool. So so what else can we do with the route? Oh, full screen dialog. There's some settings that I can add it. Maintain state. Okay, but it seems like we can actually change the transition itself.
Not with the material PageRouteBuilder.
All right.
Yeah.
So let's go with something else.
Yes. And so what we want to go with then is the PageRouteBuilder.
All right. Ooh. So it takes settings, page builder seems important.
Mm-hmm. So there's two required arguments that we have to specify here, and that's the page builder and the transitions builder. Okay. So let's start with the page builder.
You know what? I will put all this into.
Yeah, we're getting kind of long on the.
Yeah. So let's call this. Is it void. Push settings, like open settings.
Open settings sounds fine.
Okay. And takes build context. Let's see. And then this all just goes to open settings, context, right?
Yep.
And then this is wrong. And then
what that
return. Yep. We actually. Oh yeah, we can. We don't return anything.
Yeah, no.
That's perfect.
Navigator's gonna handle it.
And something's wrong here. Oh,
and we haven't implemented the required.
Right. So you were saying that page builder.
Yeah.
That takes. That page builder takes a lot.
It takes a lot.
Okay.
We're gonna ignore most of it for now.
Okay. So but it takes context. And 2 animations. Okay. So page builder will be something that takes context. And what's the first animation? It's just animation.
Yep.
And then there's a secondary.
There's a secondary
animation.
Well, we'll figure that out in a bit.
Sure. And then and it returns a widget, which is it just return our page, our settings page, or is that too soon?
We can. So it's telling you what widget you're going to The next parameter we'll talk about how to get there, but this one's just showing what it is. So yes, we can just return our settings page.
Settings page. Maybe semicolon.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah,
and this will work.
I think it should. I think it'll just use.
Yes.
And that is because we don't have a transition
Yeah.
defined. So
But
okay,
I
we're
love
making
it.
progress.
I actually like it. If you want
the hard.
the
hard cut.
a brutalist app, you can be like
Yes, no animation.
so you don't get an animation.
No, let's even just remove the drawer animation too. Just pops up right there.
Yes, good old Windows kind of thing. So so that was easy. But then you're saying you can do the transitions builder.
Yeah, so that's the thing.
And duration.
Oh, you're right. There's duration.
Barrier dismissible. Oh wow, that's a lot of things that we can do with this. So what do you suggest? What does this transitions builder do?
Yeah, the transitions builder gives us an animation that we can use to pass to like some kind of animated widget and give us some interesting animations on the transition.
Interesting. I see that it says default transitions builder, so I just want to see. Oh, just
well, yeah, because it's just doing that brutalistic.
Right.
Here's a page.
So it takes all these things, plus a child, which I assume will be the settings page.
Yeah, so it's the PageRouteBuilder keeps a handle on the page that you're transitioning to. So once you call that page builder, it keeps a handle on that settings page. So that doesn't have to rebuild it every single time.
Right, that's great. So again, nice brutalist thing. So now what can we? So I see animation here, so I can do whatever, right? I can do what's fade transition?
Fade transition, yeah.
Fade transition takes.
I think it takes the child and
child.
Yep, and I think it takes an opacity.
Oh, opacity would be the animation.
Yeah, I think that should work. Yeah, very nice. Very nice.
And it goes to this same way back. That's interesting. So it runs the animation in the reverse.
Yeah, so I think that's why it's taking it's doing it in reverse. And
what's the secondary animation then?
That's a good question. That's not one I looked into yet. So we have that PageRouteBuilder. Route transitions builder takes a secondary. The docs don't really tell me.
Mm-hmm. Anyway, I think we can do something even more interesting with this. Would that be?
We
could slide things. What are the transitions?
All the different transitions. There's rotation transition.
That
would be funny.
Terrible, yes.
It would be terrible. Let's try it.
Fade transition, size transition, align, scale, slide, rotation positioned, decorated, but that's probably not.
No.
Default textile, relative positioned. So going from the most terrible to the least, we could transition the text style. Like going from one font to another while we're animating something.
We could try taking it from Roboto to Comic Sans, for example.
Yes, we could do scale. Scale is actually pretty it could
go from nothing up to full screen.
Yes. Actually, can you somehow transition or change anything about the thing on the bottom? Like, can you? Scale something. One of the
so you have
animations. One of the animations that are in vogue now is that two things morph into each other by both, I think, scaling up, or one of them scaling down and another one scaling up, and it kind of creates this.
So it's funny you mentioned that, because as you were talking, I was pulling up the documentation, which says the secondary animation can be used to define how the route that was on the top of the stack leaves the screen. So I think that's how we can use
the secondary animation, though we get it. We don't do anything to it.
The reason the fade transition is working is because we're attaching the animation to something else. And so if we have that secondary animation, we haven't attached it to anything, right? It's not driving anything. It's just there.
Yes. But we're still returning one widget that is,
Yeah, I see what you're saying.
Anyway.
But we can still attach it to things with like the .animate or the .drive methods on tweens or animations, respectively.
Right. Yes, but we don't get the underlying thing anywhere. We get the child, which is this.
And that's the one we're going to
animate to.
Yeah.
But we don't get the thing in whatever. Maybe there is a way to.
Oh, of course, the docs continue to say, in practice, the secondary animation is pretty rarely used.
Okay, maybe we get back to it later.
Yeah,
let's make something weird with the transition. So fade transition is actually looking pretty cool.
Yeah, that looks fine.
What else can we do? We could actually, we could use the animation here to like do something maybe cool with the settings page itself. Like we could do like changing like the color of it or something.
Yeah.
But first things first. So fade transition is definitely an option, and we have all these other things. Let's try the slide transition. Is probably the
Yeah, because that gets us into the realm of like recreating what the default material transition is.
So animation. That's just position. Okay, so
it takes an offset.
Which would animation. Is this dry?
Yeah, and I think what we'll need to give it is a
offset tween.
Offset tween, or a tween offset.
Fractional offset. Oh no, just tween actually. If you do a tween of offset, I think you can. It will.
Oh, it'll figure it out.
Yeah.
Okay.
Because offset is like has operators like offset plus, offset minus. So you can do this. So let's say. Actually, don't we want fractional offset? Because this will make it possible to slide all the way from the right instead of, if you do offset, it's just pixels. But if you do fractional offset, it's like the whole way to the right or not.
I think when you're doing it for slide transition though, and I think maybe the slide transition docs talk about this, the offset is considered as fractions of the widget's size.
Oh, interesting. So we could do 1, 0 and end with 0, 0. Let's see.
Right.
Oh, offset.
Yes. So I've confirmed the translation is expressed as an offset scaled to the child's size.
Oh, cool.
So an offset of 0.25 is a translation of 1/4.
And they are right.
Perfect.
Yeah.
Great. It's interesting that like it's clear that Material PageRouteBuilder is doing something else, because it doesn't look quite the same because we don't have there's like a shadow or an elevation or something.
Yes,
maybe?
There's definitely that. There's also we could actually look at the code, but there's definitely also the curve could be nicer.
Yes. So we can do like the tween has a chain, doesn't it?
Yeah.
That you can maybe flutter tween chain. You can chain tween objects together using the chain method.
parent is okay. So curved animation. Is it?
I mean, so chain takes an animatable. So curve tween, I think, is what we might want.
Oh.
Yeah, curve tween takes a curve that you can give it. So within
So like
chain,
I can chain a curve tween.
Yeah, and the way it works is that it's kind of unintuitive. The curve tween will apply first, and then the offsets will apply after that.
So this is right.
Yes. So it takes a curve parameter.
So this would be like ease out cubic is my go-to.
I should come up with a go-to curve.
Yeah. This
that looks
good.
better. Yeah.
And it goes in the reverse of the curve back. See? Like it's.
Oh yeah. So,
okay.
so we can impersonate some curves here.
Yes. All right. So that's great. So we did slide transition.
Yeah. I'm curious what the rotation transition will do.
Yeah. So let's actually put them together. So we could do rotation transition.
All right.
Compose. And then
things.
turns would be the animation. And now, check this out.
Ooh. Oh, it kind of, interesting.
Yeah. Oh, that's terrible.
I know that's really bad. It's so fast.
Yeah. Well, we could
add some
something
some curves and stuff to that too.
So rotation might not be it, but what else is there? Do we want to do something else? Oh, scale. Okay, scale might.
For a second, I thought you were just going to wrap the rotation in the scale as well. So we have it spinning and scaling and sliding all at the same time.
Never.
To each their own. Yeah. We are making our own custom transition. We can do whatever we want. Oh, that's interesting. So is it still sliding in?
It's not. Oh, because you know what? Yeah. So if we switch it, because it's like, whatever, I don't care about the offset. I'm scaling this.
Yeah. Okay. So I wonder if it's like, if we did a different curve, would we maybe see the slide come in differently?
Oh, I think it's just that. Let's. I'll show you what I mean.
Okay.
So if we do this, size. No, not size. Not size, right? Because there's size, which is actually, it will relay out the child every time, I think. Okay. But then there's scale, which will just like take the child as it is laid out and it will scale it. So scale is way less intensive. Yes. So scale transition, and that is a scale of animation. Let's see. Oh. Okay. Settings.
Oh, there. Yeah. Oh, okay. So
yep.
Very nice.
It's terrible. What about if we want to have a shadow? Do we put it here or here? Like. Yeah, I know that we can definitely put a shadow over here.
Yeah, I wonder if it should go up top there.
Yeah.
Because we don't want to have it redrawn with every tick of the animation.
So material.
Yeah, it's a material, and then I think there's an elevation parameter as part of that.
Elevation.
Yeah.
And let's do like 16. Yeah.
Oh, yep, it's there.
That's
nice how it like comes with the scale as well.
Yeah.
Very nice.
All right, so
this is a terrible transition.
It is pretty terrible. Yes.
It's wonderful. I love it.
All right, so that was this. Then we don't know what to do with the secondary animation, but that's fine.
Yeah, I mean, we can maybe play around with it, but what were you gonna suggest?
So let's see if like is it? It's weird. Is it some? How do we tell anything about this? Or is it the like reverse animation? You know,
The
like
secondary one?
if I do secondary here, will it be like? So let's try it. Yes. Okay.
All right, so that's definitely not what we want. it's uber dark mode.
Okay, so let's do. What does the secondary animation do?
Well, let's.
I think it might have been just basically animating towards 0 scale. You know.
I don't know. I think it's something else. So we have.
Oh, secondary animation. The animation for the road being pushed on top of this road. So
Yeah.
you could be.
So this animation lets the route coordinate with the entrance and exit of the routes pushed on top.
So this doesn't work for us because we're not pushing anything on top of the settings page. But if we ever figure out how to override the PageRouteBuilder for the whole app, we might be, like we might use this to do something else. All right, so
okay.
Let's not do that now, but I wanted to play a little more with this. Especially, I really like the idea of doing something to that another page, like especially with something like fade transition, so that we because we have the animation also here.
Yeah.
So we could do like color blend.
Oh, interesting.
Or blend mode.
Like a okay.
What's it called? It's not blend mode.
Would be like a color filtered. Isn't that a sort of thing? We would take color filter.
Color filter is right. There was also some kind of blend mode. Oh, mode. Okay, color filter mode, which would be something like colors, red, and blend mode. Multiply. Something like that. Just something that we can see very well. XOR.
Exclusion.
Ugh. Okay. Wow. That was. Did you see it?
No. Oh. Well, it's certainly
something.
It's very sudden.
Yeah. I was more going for like. Oh damn. What should we do? Okay, so we've tried weird things. Let's try to make it actually nice.
Oh, whoa.
Yeah.
Whoa. I don't know if I can do that.
So let's get rid of this color filter.
All right.
Maybe even the material for now, because it's kind of slow. And then so we have this, still terrible. I don't think we want the slide transition.
Well, I think we should choose one or the other, either slide or scale.
Or none of the
Or
other.
neither. We could go
like-
back to the fade.
I like the fade,
The
to
fade
be
is
honest.
nice, yeah.
But then what to do on top of it? Or maybe the scale, but a little smaller, like just like, like scaled down scale.
I see.
Not coming from 0 to like.
Yeah, so if we set the offset to something greater than 0 to have
Yeah.
it come up from like a quarter or something.
Yeah. Which means we'll need to. Okay, let's start with this. So that will be a driving of a tween.
Just a tween, and we give it a couple offsets.
So
Before we had done 0, 0 up to.
okay, so 0, 7 to end with to 1.
Yeah, and doing.
See?
Oh yeah. Okay.
I think
So it's much more subtle.
We want to do again the curve.
Right, and so that's where we did the chain with a curve tween.
Curved tween. Tween curve?
I think it's curve tween.
Oh, curved.
No D. Curve
Oh.
tween. Yep, there you go.
Okay, and that needs a curve. And
What, ease out cubic?
that is my go-to. But do you have yours?
I don't. I should figure that out while you're talking.
Yeah. So, ooh,
Uh-oh. What did Here I went to go look at curves, and suddenly there's a chain evaluation. It's not a subtype of animatable.
Oh, am I chaining it in the wrong place? Maybe.
That looks.
Or why is it animatable double? It is double. What am I talking about? Or maybe, do you mean like this?
Uh-oh. That's a wait. There it is.
No. Oh, okay.
Yeah. Okay. All right.
Yeah, so we need to either say here we could do like double, or we could do this. The reason for this, for if you're confused, as I was a few seconds ago, is that if you do 0.7 to 1, Dart will understand, this is not a double nor an int, it's a num, which is num is like the number class that
it's the
on top of
generic
those.
dynamic
Yeah.
numbers.
And then somewhere here in drive was an assert that is like, we want not a num, we do want double. So okay,
Right.
so that was an easy fix, but a little confusing error. Cool. So we have this. I think this looks pretty cool, especially now if we apply another transition, which is the fade transition. Fade transition. And that would be something like, let's just use animation there.
Yeah. So then it fades in while it. Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. It's the
all
back
right.
part of that is kind of interesting with the.
Yeah.
It like fades before it scales out.
Oh, yes.
Is that where the secondary animation can maybe come in?
Oh, I don't think so. It just like runs the animation in backwards.
Oh, yeah.
But what I would want to do is, instead of animating from 0, fading is fine, but instead of scaling from 0.7 to 1, why don't we do it from 1.3 to 1?
Oh, so have it come big to in? Yeah.
Is it better? A little bit? I don't know. I mean,
Okay.
it's a thing.
Yeah, it kind of it at least feels like it's not the beginning of it when we were going 0.7 to 1, like it still appeared suddenly in the middle and then
Yes,
came back
yes.
up. This at least feels like it's coming down on top of us.
Yes. All right, I like it, and that would be one of those things. Now, I wonder, can we? So again, this is Flutter, so you can do anything, right? So we get a number here. We could just like say like we could have text, animation. You know, like we could change things. We can have a builder or like you know, animation builder that takes the animation and just like, you know, does a whatever thing.
Yeah, we could have it kind of like bounce in or something.
Yeah, yeah.
We could have it, I don't know, spin in and out with some transform.
Yes, yeah.
Right, because I mean, fade transition is really just an animated widget, so we could make our own.
Yes, yes. But I wonder if this is fine-ish.
It's certainly ish.
Okay, so let's actually dig deeper into. I want every transition everywhere to be this.
Yeah, I had started looking into that a little bit.
And another thing that I was going to do is maybe I would really like this to be not, well, I don't know if I would like it, but imagine we could put this animation into settings page, and setting page would go from white background, from transparent background to white background, so that it wouldn't like just cover the whole thing with the next page, but it would kind of like the text would first appear over the other text. It doesn't make much sense here because we don't really have much text here, but we could add more.
Right, we can always add some lorem ipsums and whatnot.
Right. So let's actually do this. So I'll just do
in the animation.
Yeah, I'll pass it here. I don't know if it's a good idea, but whatever. So we have an animation of double. That is initial animation. That's a final thing. And then we pass it here, this initial animation, right? It's a constant thing. And then we could have like a
opacity transition or something.
Well, we're kind of already doing this, but I was thinking of like, is there a theme transition, or is there like a, maybe there isn't. In that case, we need a animation builder. That's pretty bad, but whatever.
Yeah, it's kind of heavyweight for what we're trying to do.
But that's fine. So a builder takes context and child and animation value and child.
I think it takes the.
Oh, just context and widget. Okay.
Yes. In the widget, in this case, the child,
which is fine. And then also we should probably put animation here, which is the initial one. Cool. And then return something like theme.
You're looking for something to, because you can like tween between different themes, right?
Yes. What's it called?
You might just be able to create a tween and give it two different themes.
Oh. But like, where do I put that tween? We're just jamming here. We don't know what to do, but
do like a decorated box transition, maybe. No, that's outside of it.
So I'm gonna just go all in with like a theme widget,
Uh-oh.
and I'm gonna do child is child,
Right.
which is the scaffold,
Right.
and then
Oops.
and then here I'm gonna do data is theme data, and then I'm going to I'm gonna go with something like color, like background color.
Yeah, and setting it to like
To whatever is like I don't know where do I get
the animation.
wow, I can't use animated builder anymore. What's my problem? Oh, tween animation builder is the one that I was supposed to do.
Oh, yeah.
Tween animation builder. Okay, changes everything. So first we want a builder with the value.
Yeah, and that's the one that takes the yes.
Then the tween is a tween that begins with color transparent. Is there oh yeah?
Yep.
Oh.
Yeah.
Colors white.
Okay. What's our error there? Too many
maybe
and.
Yeah.
Yes. Yeah.
And then this also takes duration.
Yeah. In the PageRouteBuilder has a duration of like 300 milliseconds, I think.
Wait, I'm using the wrong widget again because I want to pass the initial animation to this.
Oh.
So I need a animation widget that takes an animation, and I thought it was.
I think you want animated widget then.
Really?
So different than animated builder. Animated widget takes it takes an animation controller, which I guess we don't necessarily want. So we'd have to create a controller if we wanted to do that. I'm not sure I want to do that. We'd have to convert settings page to a stateful widget.
I don't get it. Transition builder.
Curiously, transition builder is the same thing that's used in the PageRouteBuilder as part of the transition.
Yeah.
Or it's very similar, at least. What do we get there? Context and child.
Yeah, just I want something that gives me context and value.
I mean, so because what you want to in that transition builder, you want to use the animation value to set the
yes. This guy value listenable builder. Okay, this sounds what I want. So value listenable builder takes value listenable,
which could be our animation, right?
Yes,
those are listenables.
Initial animation, and then it takes this.
Just the builder.
Yes.
Okay.
And then here, I can be like, I can actually use the same tween as here, and just evaluate.
I see the value.
Not evaluate with, because I have the value. So, lerp with the value.
Yeah.
This has been a journey.
It certainly has. What is that? Can only be used.
Protected. So we should be using something else. But what? Oh, transform?
Transform? Yeah, I think that's
basically the same thing.
Yeah.
But transform. Okay. So now we have a static error.
one positional error.
Oh, okay.
Oh, yeah. Okay. So.
We're not using it here, so
No, it's true. We might be. There might be a way we can use it later, but we'll get there. We'll come back to
we
that.
crashed the app, by the way, for some reason. Interesting.
Cool. That's fun.
Yeah, that's always fun.
What happened?
I don't know.
We overrode the routes, maybe, and it just didn't know where to go anymore. It had some directional challenge with itself.
Maybe.
It couldn't find settings, and so it just like no.
Wait,
without my ability to set dark mode, I just like lost it.
All right, so we'll wait until Xcode.
So what I was saying there,
Yes.
so here the routes, we might be able to give it our page route thing instead of the settings page. So we might be able to use it there to get some of that generic
yes,
transitions that we were looking for.
Okay, so let's see if this works.
Damn. What happened? Value listener, class colors.
Oh, you know why? Color actually has a special tween thing.
Isn't that like color tween or something?
Color tween. Yeah. Can I just? Oh, I'll restart just to be super sure.
Just to be safe.
But I'm not sure if we actually. Okay.
Did it? Can we slow down the animation?
Slowing down animations.
Ooh.
Do you see anything?
I
don't think so.
It's hard to tell. Can we temporarily in our PageRouteBuilder? Can we remove the fade?
Oh yes.
Because that might be confusing it or confusing us, not it.
Mm-hmm.
It's probably doing the right thing.
I don't know. I wasn't sure about the the background may not be actually used in the way that we think it is.
Because what the body of the scaffold might be essentially a container and have its own background.
Yeah, something like that. But we'll see. So you're saying fade transition.
Yeah, I wonder if we can
just
temporarily remove that and see what happens. Do we need to?
Did we?
Restart or something?
Well, I'll restart. We didn't need to before, but
that's true.
Nope. That just doesn't do anything. So let's see if it works at all. Instead of background color, let's do like primary color. Primary color is not reused.
I mean, the app bar is primary color, isn't it?
Oh, is it? So primary color like this, and maybe. All right,
we can try it. See what it looks like. Interesting.
I want something like.
Is there like a text color or anything like that?
Yeah, that would be in the text theme.
Oh, text theme. Yeah.
Damn it. Something.
Bottom app bar color.
Canvas color.
Canvas color. Canvas color. Oh yeah.
Anyway, now we're
Nope.
If we do this. Nope.
No.
No.
Try putting it back to primary color now that you put the red in.
Yeah.
No. Okay.
Are we actually? Maybe we should be. Oh, we may need to put it into Builder because I don't know. No, probably not. Anyway, instead of this, like what I wanted to make as a point is that you have this animation and you can do whatever you want with this. So I can also just do something terrible, like, for example, value listenable builder, yeah. And thank you for the power. Value listenable would be the initial animation, and builder would be just text use. Oh, builder. Oh, wait.
But yeah,
Context, value, and child, and will not, and just value. And
Okay.
this, you know.
So it's
you know
gonna
what I mean?
be ridiculous with. Wait, should we try to hot restart? It seems
Yeah.
curious that it. Ooh,
yes.
Yeah,
Yes.
there it is. Excellent. I love it.
This is actually pretty helpful because you like see how stuff is, and we're still in slow mode. So let's go to normal mode, and
Yep. Now I can see that value being updated. I wonder now. So like it what the animation wasn't going until we did the hot restart, and so I wonder if our theme tween was actually working.
Okay, let's let's do this.
Back it out.
Primary color.
Yeah.
Let's do that.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, there it is. Okay.
All right. Let's see canvas. Oh, do we need to hot restart again?
Yeah, I think so. No. Why?
Yeah.
Oh, there it goes. Excellent.
And therefore, transparent. And hot restart again. This is weird. I don't never.
Yeah.
Like, why would we want to hot restart? Anyway.
It's in a stateless.
Yeah, that's
There
what
it
I wanted.
goes. Okay.
That's what I went to. Except this is transparent with black.
Is there like a?
Yeah, you could do this. I mean, you could do it in different ways. You could do like white with opacity, which is probably the better thing to do.
Right,
but like you
rather
can
than
totally just do this.
Yeah.
Which is this is opacity and
the
this
rest
is
that's
RGB.
the color.
Yes. Oh.
Yeah. Restart again.
Excuse me. Okay, so let's do this. And now I need to
Slow animations.
See?
Oh,
That's what I was going for. Like the
So the app
dark
bar
mode
is
is-
still.
yeah, the app bar is still there, but that's fine. But it looks like the text is like going, you know, like you can see the previous text with the new one. I kind of like that. So I'll keep it.
Okay.
But my main point again was that you can give the animation to whoever you want and do whatever you want with it. The page itself can animate itself in somehow.
Right. Ultimately, the animation is just giving us 0 to 1 values for the duration of that transition.
Right.
So what we do with those values,
Yeah.
color tween.
So we have the scale transition. We might put back in the fade in transition, but we don't need to. I don't know.
I think it'd be nice to maybe with that app bar was kind of coming in pretty harsh.
So that would be opacity is the animation. And now, see,
No, you might need to restart again. I don't know why we've like lost our hot reload.
oh, you know
there it
what? I
goes.
lost hot reload. Okay, I had lost hot reload on save, which has happened to me with this ID before. So, but anyway, so we have this.
Okay,
and I like it.
great.
All right, still works, still slow. And now we promised to make this more generic so that we don't always need to do this when we want to add a new route.
Yes.
Have you made any progress on that, Fitz?
You know, I wish I could say I made perfect progress and I'm ready to tell you exactly what code to write. And so the code you're going to write is, give me a moment and I'll figure it out. So I mean, so one thing we can try doing is, we have those named routes there, and we could try for those instead of giving the page itself, give our page route builder.
Do you want to try and do the transition builder? The material route has a transition builder. I mean, material app has a transition builder.
Oh,
Interesting.
Let me look that up.
And also there's the whole. Okay, where is it now? Why is it not here?
Transition builder. Transition builder is a builder for inserting widgets above the navigator but below the other widgets, created by the widgets app widget.
Okay. Oh, that doesn't really tell me much.
That's what we want.
And let's try with the onGenerate route.
Yeah, that's what I was going to go to next.
Okay, onGenerate route is a route factory, which gives you which takes settings, route settings, and comes back with a route.
Yes.
Not a. Okay.
Wow, the route settings.
On generate route settings. I think we are actually using it somewhere around here. We're using it somewhere around here, aren't we? On generate. Yes, on generate route.
So if you're going to the favorites, then
yes. Excuse me. I think we just basically copy this. So we are returning. We are. Where are we? Okay, open settings. I'm just gonna steal all of this.
Okay. And that's just the whole
Yeah.
on settings page.
This goes back to navigator
dot push named.
Push named.
And that was the context and / settings.
Settings.
Yes.
And then all the way here, we have this. Wait, here we have this onGenerate route, and this obviously is not what I wanted, but
yeah. And so then we don't need the navigator push on this one as well.
On this,
but we're returning the PageRouteBuilder now, right?
Yes. So. What?
Do you need some water?
Oh, thank you.
Oh, because it's in a separate.
Oh.
Wait.
What? That's weird.
That is weird.
Oh, okay, interesting.
Well,
my ID sometimes thinks it's more clever.
Oh, I wonder if so, since you have that commented out on line 63, and then you cut it out of.
Yes, it removed the important. Excuse me.
Just wanted it back later though.
Yes.
Okay, so that should work for the settings page. Or actually, is that?
I mean, yeah. Now we're kind of hard coding. Like, you want to do a different route?
Yeah, let's go to settings.
Yeah, just go to settings. Which means that we actually open the app on the settings. So that's what. What we want to do.
Well, all I want to do is set dark mode.
Right.
I don't care what else the app does.
Maybe, I don't know. Let's see. Let's actually see what happens in the. If you
there you go. Straight to settings.
So. With the settings, we can actually do a switch.
Right, and that's where we're going to do basically our named routes.
Yeah.
And so our switch for settings has a .name that you can get.
Oh, nice. If initial route, whether this route is the very first route being pushed onto this navigator, that's easy.
Yeah,
so if this is the very first route, then return
just the main homepage. What is it called?
It should be like maybe.
That's my homepage. Or wait, no, my app I think is what we want. That's what has the material app.
No, that's where we are.
That's where we are.
But we need a root. So that would be a material page root.
Yes.
And then in it, we have a builder.
It has a builder is the only thing it takes.
And that would return my homepage. We might just have gone with a switch statement, to be honest, but this seemed like like by default, you do this.
Yeah.
Let's try it. Yep.
Okay, great.
And then this will work, actually, I think, because it's like whatever. Yeah.
So, but like, if we clicked on favorites, then does it go to settings?
So favorites is a different beast. It
okay.
tries to use a different navigator, because we thought at the time it seemed like a good idea that favorites would not put anything on top of all this. It would actually change the thing inside here, and it works.
But then it uses a different navigator.
Yes, it doesn't use the main one. But anyway, well, let's just we're at time, so I will just make sure that this would be a terrible thing to leave here, because people would be like, why is it going to a settings page all of that? So let's do switch statement
on settings.name.
Yes. And case 1 is actually just this, I think. Let's just do this.
Just return that. Yeah.
And
we don't need that.
Yeah. And we could even do an assert that it's an initial root, but whatever. And then case settings is this. And then default I think should just throw, to be honest.
Right, because we don't have a route named for anything else.
So throw unimplemented error.
Okay. Because it's,
Yeah. No root for settings.
And then don't forget your breaks on the cases.
We're returning, so there's no
I guess it's
breaks.
fine.
Yes.
Yeah, right.
Yes.
Yeah, fair enough.
All right, so this is it.
Okay.
Let's see it one more time, and also I don't need the slow mode anymore. And boom. Yep.
Okay. Great.
And this, I think it's fine.
Looks fine.
Yeah.
Cool.
All right. Well, thank you for joining me.
Yeah, absolutely. Thank you for having me.
Thank you for watching us.
Thank you.
And hopefully you will come up with much better transitions that we did. Although
these are pretty good.
Yeah, some of those are.
Yeah, that I don't know that
really
rotation
hard.
Spinning in one was that was my favorite. I think it was
I think
professional.
I like the brutalist approach. I think I will just use it for
the hard entrance.
Yes.
Settings.
Yes. So you wanted it.
Yep, there it is.
Anyway, thanks for watching again, and please let us know if there's anything that we should add to this particular topic, or if there are topics that you would want us covered next time. Thank you.
Thanks.